Hi, my name is Emma Tobias, and welcome to the only semi-clean part of my bedroom. It's the reading rush. It's a stay-at-home reading rush, and I wanted to participate. But I'm getting bored of vlogging, to be honest, and I thought I would find a new way to challenge myself, hence why I'm using a decent camera. This video is about reading. This video series is about reading. I will be posting daily vlogs for every day of the reading rush, but to challenge myself, every day will feature a different aesthetic, vibe, internet vibe / aesthetic. So every day will embody that internet aesthetic through the way I dress, how my makeup is, the things I do in the video, the things I try to film in the video, the way the video feels, and what I'm reading to an extent. I also try to accomplish all of the reading rush goals, challenges, as much as possible. So, without further ado, here's day one. Hello. Today's vibe, April 16th, the first day of the reading rush, is cottagecore. Cottagecore is something that I don't know a ton about, but I know that the aesthetic is one that I vibe with. It's a sort of artsy, folksy, outdoorsy, Miss Honey meets Anne of Green Gables aesthetic. I keep saying aesthetic and vibe. Please drink every time I do. Don't, you'll be dead. I quite like the cottagecore look because it just requires you to wear lots of apron dresses and put your hair back and wear muted yet fun makeup, which is my favorite lazy energy. Today I will try to spend as much time outside, enjoying the nice spring weather, enjoying all of the flowers blooming in an Animal Crossing sort of way. I'm looking forward to it. And the book I've chosen to read to go with cottagecore, and a book that I will be reading for the challenge of read a book in the same room being outside, is The Finishing School by Muriel Spark. This is a book that I know nothing about, but I bought it thrifted, which also feels very cottagecore, and it's quite short. I read The Crime of Miss Jean Brodie by Muriel Spark a couple of years ago for the reading rush, and it was actually a fairly quick read for a book that was written quite a long time ago. I think this book was written, 2004? I am shook. This book was written in 2004, which feels wild to me, because the author was born in 1918. So, was it re-released? Was it not published originally? Because The Crime of Miss Jean Brodie is from the 30s or the 40s, so I don't know. We're going to read it though and find out. So today's look is cottagecore. We got a pair of boots from ModCloth. We've got this dress. It's like an apron dress from Target. This belt from Target, and this thrifted woolly sweater, and I took the tie from the dress and made a little hair tie for my hair. So it's a little cold right now. It's like 50 something degrees, so I think for the time being I am gonna go inside. It's my lunch break, and I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing, eat some lunch, maybe watch a YouTube video. Not sure if it'll be cottagecore YouTube video, but Animal Crossing to me is very cottagecore. I said that earlier, but I think I truly believe that. And then once it warms up, I will come back outside to this spot or some other spot outside and keep reading The Finishing School, which already 5 pages in is a wild ride, and I wouldn't expect anything else from Muriel Spark, so. I wanted to be in my room, but I still want to count this as a book that I read in the same place. I've come up with a compromise. I'm going to read outside by having my feet out the window and having the breeze come in. I think putting your feet out of a window and having them draped gracefully on a roof is very cottagecore to me personally. So there's that. Until it warms up significantly, which it might not at all today, that is my plan. Hello. It is currently around 5:30, and I'm back outside in my one room because let me tell you, my window idea wasn't smart. Mostly because sitting on a roof is dangerous. At least it makes me feel dangerous, and I don't particularly like that feeling. And I came back outside. I am drinking an after-work cider, which cider feels like the most cottagecore of beverages, because beer is too weedy. Cider is like earthy fruity. So you get it? You see the difference? I don't, but we're pretending. Hello. It's about 8 p.m. now. It's a little too chilly and dark. I mean, it's not that dark, obviously. It's a little chilly for me to want to read outside. So I think that I'm going to rescind my nomination for the finishing school to be the book that I read in the same room, and instead make this book be a book that makes me smile. Meaning that this book isn't heartwarming, but it has made me laugh out loud a couple times. So I think that's a win. Maybe not what the Reading Rush gods intended, but I'm going to count it nonetheless. I'm going to finish this book, and then I'll update y'all about my thoughts. I have finished Finishing School by Muriel Spark. I realized I neglected to ever explain what this book was about, so I'm going to do that as quickly as possible. This is a book about a finishing school in Europe that travels all over Europe, basically teaching rich teenagers nothing. It's like a gap year sort of situation. It's run by two young people who are married, and it's about specifically the husband who has grown an obsession with one of his students who is writing a novel. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in the same way that I enjoyed The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, which is that it's a book that really satirizes academics and teachers, but not like regular teachers, like mid-century European teachers to rich children. It's a very specific niche. I enjoyed this a lot. It definitely is problematic. It's interesting to me that Muriel Spark wrote this when she was like 86 and it was her last book, because it feels just as dark as The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, which was written in the 1960s. Thoroughly had fun reading this, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it to everyone. So, Cottagecore Day, I think, was fairly successful. This was an easy aesthetic to imbibe with. I have the clothes. This was sort of cottagecore in the fact that it was set in a small town, in this old house in Europe, so that kind of felt cottagecore in a way. Tomorrow will be much more challenging. I won't spoil it, so you're just gonna have to wait and see.